SuperMom MD, Mother Determined, Not Your Mother's Podcast. This is a podcast about juggling motherhood, career, dating, and going into your 40s. Are you ready? Let's go!
Hello,
Oh my
everyone.
God. Hello. Episode 2. Look at us.
Yes, I love it. So I'm really excited about this episode because I feel like a lot of us are still learning, including me. And this is a topic that is going to help me. So are you good enough, or what is good enough, right? Meaning as a parent, as a mom especially, right, is that, you know, you always want everything perfect. And how about just having it be good enough, right? So that's what we're going to talk about. But before we do, let's talk about our RX from last week. How did you do with it, Shanna?
Yeah, you know, I actually did pretty good. I'm proud of myself. So I went ahead. I tried the app that you recommended. I did the 5 minutes. I did some 10-minute meditations that I found on YouTube as well. And honestly, just having that 5 or 10 minutes, I ended up, I don't know if I became addicted. I don't know if that's the right word, but I definitely looked forward to having those times of meditation and just that quiet time for myself where I could just refocus, close my eyes, and just feel that sense of peace and serenity and calm. And I will say that I think it really, really helped me at work this week. I think it helped me at work. I think it helped me in relation to my teenage daughter, which can be challenging at times. Yeah, I did really well. How did you do?
I wish I could say I did better. I didn't do it every day like I wanted to. It was one of those things where, like, at night, I was like, oh, I'll do it at night because, you know, but then I just kept falling asleep. So I'm not sure if that was counted like as meditation, but I listened.
I think it does. I think that counts. It? Yeah, I would take it.
And then one time, like, or not one, I think there's 2 times I was in the shower and I just like put it on and I was like listening out, like my phone was outside the shower and I was listening.
Nice.
But then it was kind of like, am I really meditating since I'm shaving my legs? I'm not quite sure.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know for me that I could meditate while naked. I think I would feel too exposed.
You know, I've seen myself enough. It doesn't interest me, but yeah.
I mean, whatever works for you, whatever works for you. I would say I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you.
And I really did try it like for real a few times. And the times that I had like the moments where I was like, okay, I'm going to like, this is what I'm doing. You know, I committed and I felt like afterwards, I just felt a little bit more restful. And I felt like I did my to-do list, right? Like I was like, yes, I did it. And that was, I don't know if that was the purpose, but that is probably why this good enough topic is probably going to be really helpful.
I was going to say, what a good segue into our topic today. Awesome. So good.
So we're excited to talk about this. And I think that, you know, I feel like we've seen that movie. A lot of us have seen that movie, Bad Moms.
Mm-hmm. I love that movie.
I love that movie.
It's so good. Both of them.
And I just feel like it's so relatable because how many of us know people that are quote unquote perfect, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like from the beginning of my motherhood journey, even before I knew my son had special needs, you know, it was all about like what kind of stroller you had, like what kind of jogging outfits you had, you know, what kind of car you drove, you know, what job your husband had. It was just always this kind of keeping up with the Joneses thing. And then, you know, for me, it was like, oh, once I figured out my son had special needs, then it becomes a whole other level of, oh my gosh, these special needs moms have like these binders and like they know what these IEP meetings and there's just all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just wanting to, whatever the doctor says kind of thing.
Totally. No, and it's so true. And I mean, I remember being a first-time mom. I was 26 when my daughter was born. And I remember taking her out, you know, outside for walks, in the little, what's that thing you strap on to the little baby
baby
Bjorn?
kind of,
Yeah, the little baby Bjorn. Like I would have her in the baby Bjorn. I hated it, but they would say, you want to hold her and keep her close to you and not have her in the stroller all the time. Well, she wanted to be in the stroller. And I just remember feeling so judged when I would have her in the stroller as opposed to like carrying her. And then vice versa. If I carried her too much, people had opinions about that. I don't know. I mean, I was telling you a story about, when Sasha was 3 years old, and we had gone to Graceland, and I feel like this is relevant to the topic that we're talking about today.
That's a good one. I like this one.
Yeah. Well, so speaking of bad moms, right? So Sasha was a runner, right? When she was 3 years old, she was a runner. And because she had special needs, she didn't quite understand a lot of the things that maybe a typical 3-year-old would, like, hey, that car might hit you. I'm not sure that, maybe even typical 3-year-olds don't understand that, but she would definitely just go for it, right? Busy street, she wanted to be right there. So I got one of those little, it was a kid leash, right? It was a little child leash. I got one of those, but it didn't look like, it wasn't like a dog leash. It was attached to like this little monkey backpack, right? So she could put her juice box in there and whatever other toys that she wanted in there. It was a little backpack that she could carry around. And then the tail of it was the actual leash, right? Well, my niece was getting married at Graceland. And so, I took Sasha and we went to Graceland, and it was very cool. It was my first time walking through the King of Rock and Roll's house. And, I have my 3-year-old, I have her on the leash just for safety reasons, and sure enough, we walk outside, we get through the house. She's being pretty calm. I think because it was real crowded and she was kind of wanting to stay near her mom for once. But the second that we walked outside into Elvis's backyard, there was a swing set there that once belonged to Elvis's daughter, Lisa Marie. Well, all Sasha as a 3-year-old saw was, sweet, that's a swing set and I want to go play on it. Thankfully, I had her by that little monkey tail leash. And as she took a run for it, that kind of jerked her back enough that she could not make it to Lisa Marie's childhood swing set. And we did not get kicked out of Graceland that day. And we were not banned for life from Graceland, which is great because now I live relatively close to it. I mean, close enough. But I'm so happy, right? But talk about being good enough and having like a stigma attached. Try walking your 3-year-old around on a leash, right? You're going to get some comments, and I did. And I handled them in my usual grace that you have come so well to know and associate with me.
Well, and I think that, for me, I've had, similar stories of, people looking at me and not knowing what autism is, thinking I'm a horrible mom, blah, blah, blah. And I've kind of overcome those, but now I'm on this new journey where I'm teaching my son how to have life skills, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't care if you have a special needs child or a typical child. I think if you're a mom that has a type A personality, that's kind of like, that is my personality. I'm definitely type A.
Sorry. I own it
all day long. But I like things in a very specific way. Like I like my pillows fluffed a certain way. I like my towel cabinet to look a certain way, and I have had to learn throughout my journey with having special needs and just kids and people in my house and everything else that I can't always have it perfect the way I want it. Right. Mm-hmm. And so I've already had to let go of some of that stuff, but now I have a whole nother thing I get to do. It's super awesome. As I'm teaching my son help skills and self-life skills, because, one day I won't be here and I want to make sure he can make his own bed and he can wash his plates and he can try to cook. And so we're in the very early stages of that. And I'm telling myself all day long, good enough. It's good enough. Right? As I feel like the supervisor kind of, so he made his bed this morning and, he didn't put the pillows the way I kind of like it. And I was like, okay, I can supervise enough to say, hey, the pillow needs to actually go in the place it goes. Doesn't need to go in the bottom of the bed. So I still need to teach him, but does it have to be fluffed? probably not, right? And so I'm really learning to like say, okay, it's good enough. Or even when he rinses out a cup, right? It's like, it has to be good enough. Like, or when he vacuums for me, it's good enough, right? So I think that as moms, we have to kind of let go of certain pictures. And the reason I think we have these pictures in our mind though, is because of these other moms who are super perfect and make, like, when you think of bad moms, right? They're making like the gluten-free, nut-free, perfect cupcake, right? I don't know how they put themselves together so much. I cannot tell you how many times the UPS guy or mailman have seen me in a towel. Like, I'm not joking, and it's nothing exciting, trust me. Like, I just don't even care. Like,
I think it is.
No, it's so not. I remember one time I had a mask on my face and I completely forgot I had a mask on my face. And like, I opened the door and the mailman's face was like, and then I realized as I did it, I went, oh, that is super funny. I'm like, you have a mom or a wife. I'm sure you've like seen this. And he just started laughing. But like,
was it one of those like bright gold
It was
masks?
white. It was bright white, and it was all like the kind of that, like it's all clay, like and hard. But you keep them on, and then you just kind of do stuff, and you completely forget that it's there. So I'm in my towel, right, which I feel like everybody that lives like near me at some point has seen me in my towel. And I want to come out with a whole line of like clothes that are made out of towels, like.
I feel like you and Chrissy Teigen could be friends because she's notorious for hanging around. Oh yeah, she hangs around her towel all the time, proudly, or robe. Okay. Yeah.
So me, it's more because I like don't like to do my hair and makeup in like my clothes because I don't want it to get messy. And so like I like to wear the towel, and then it feels like as a mom I can never get my hair and makeup. So like I feel like I'm in this towel quite often. But anyways, I feel like though it's that good enough thing of where these moms are. I don't know. I don't even know if they're humans. It kind of reminds me of Stepford Wives, where they're like so ridiculously perfect. Like they know how to curl their hair. Like if you know me, my hair is in a ponytail almost 99% of the time, unless someone else does it.
But you rock the ponytail and it looks great on you. It does.
Like, boom, done. Let's go.
No, and see, for me, I feel, and I've talked to you about this. I've talked to you about some of the shame things that I feel about not being dressed up in things enough, just because it's not my personality. Like I'll put a little makeup on because I know that we are recording this podcast and I don't want to scare people. And I felt like for you, out of respect for you, I took a shower today, and I felt like that was good enough, but my kid, she gets dropped off. She's in high school. She gets dropped off at like 6:45, 7:00 in the morning. School starts at 7:15 out here in Charlotte. And it's like, there is no way that I'm going to show up to drop her off for school in the morning before 7 and have perfect hair and makeup and be out of my pajamas. Like, I don't know how these mothers do it. And kudos to them. Like, that is awesome for them, but that's not me. And, just openly, like 50% of the time, 75% of the time, if we're being really honest, I'll show up to pick her up in the afternoon and I look exactly the same that I did in the morning.
Well, at least you're not in a towel. I mean, hey,
I am not in a towel. I am not in a towel. That would be really awkward at the PTA meetings or the parent teacher meetings. Usually the principal's out there. So that might make a lot of sense for the principal too. If you've met Sasha, we are the same brand of weird, proudly the same brand of weird. But you know what I mean? Like I literally feel like there are times when I've just given up on certain things, like certain social constructs that a lot of people live by, showing up to pick my child up in the afternoon, still in my pajamas. I just feel like you're lucky enough I brush my teeth. Like, I feel like that has to be good enough. You know what I mean? And it's not because I'm lazy. It's because I got a lot of stuff going on at the house all day long. Mm-hmm. I work from home. I am on phone calls most of the day, as are you. So I know you can relate. And it's like, I just gotta let go of that idea of that I'm going to be perfect, because I will never be, like, and I'm okay with it. Be okay with it.
And I think that I don't even believe these moms that pretend to be perfect are perfect, because I don't know what time, if they're, maybe they're vampires. I mean, I just really don't know, because like I like watch on Facebook and they'll be like, oh, I'm part of the 5 a.m. club where it's just me time. And I just want to meditate and do yoga. And I'm always like, I want to sleep. Are you joking? Like if I don't have to wake up at 5, I mean, there's times for work I have to, because they're East Coast kind of stuff and I'm West Coast. But it's like, I purposely do not, and like my eyes naturally want to wake up around 5:45. Like naturally I wake up and I'm like, okay, I already know I don't even set an alarm. Like I already know it's going to be like 5:45. And I'm happy with that. And I'm happy to have my like 15 minutes in bed, like before I like jump up. Just to kind of look at my emails, kind of like get my mind knowing what's going to happen for the rest of the day kind of thing. And I already know at 6 a.m., it's 9 a.m. on the East Coast. So I always feel like I'm like 3 hours behind as it goes. So I feel like I'm just constantly racing. And, you know, the last thing I want to do, no offense, is, and I think it's awesome for these moms that have this kind of, I guess, mindset, is to go, okay, I'm going to go into my back office and do yoga now. And then I'm just going to happily wake up my child. Like that doesn't ever happen, like ever. Yeah.
But I honestly feel like, okay, so you're getting these reports on social media, like Instagram or Facebook or whatever.
They're like the Hallmark Channel. They're like perfect people.
But is that real? Like, do you feel like that's authentic and truthful? Or do you feel like a lot of people go on social media and they have sort of their social media face, and then they have their actual life that's happening? Because honestly, on social media, you're putting out the best version of yourself. You're not going to go on social media, and maybe this is where things need to change, right? You're not going to go on social media and say, my life is pretty much a hellscape right now. Like my child is a little demon. I hate my husband, and, you know, not every day, but there are some days when I feel, you know, like it's possible that my child is inflicted with some demonic presence. And she's a good kid. I love her, you know, but there are some days though. And I feel like that's real life, you know, but if I go on social media and I'm like, hey, my kid's head just spun around a few times and some green goo came out of her mouth. Do you feel like that's normal, or should I call a doctor about that? Like that's going to worry people, you know, and I might get child services called to my house, and I don't want that either.
Yeah, and I just feel like sometimes I feel selfish when I go, I just want to sleep. Like I literally want to, I don't feel like I get enough sleep to start with, right? But yeah, like I do like yoga every now and then, and I wish I didn't, like I wish I had like this life kind of where everything's taken care of, and I could just like, oh, like you see this, I never really watched the shows because I'll be honest, they kind of bore me, but like the Real Housewives of whatever, but I've seen them, obviously we all have, right? And you're just like looking at their mansions and you're looking at their cooks, and they're like, they have their makeup artists come and do their hair and all this stuff, and you're just like, that's not real life, people. Like seriously, it's just not. And it's not my real life. And I don't know how
real life either.
I don't know how they got that real life. I'm going to tell you, I'm jealous. I would take that real life if someone wanted to hand it to me. I'd be like, oh yeah. I'm not going to be like, no, I don't want that life.
Maybe here's a suggestion. If you keep opening the door in a bath towel, you might very well end up with that life one day. I don't know.
I think they're going to be like running. I'm surprised like they haven't called for like the cops on me because of like indecent exposure or something like that.
Oh no. I've seen your neighbors. I don't think they're gonna do that on you. I think they're very interested.
I think they're more like, that poor woman. Like she's so tired. We saw her like with her little roller coming home from the office at 2 a.m. You know, like I know that my neighbors see this because like they're on my Facebook, so like they know like when I'm like home and when I'm not. And like I know like I've seen them. They're like, oh, we saw you coming home. Like it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. Are you okay here? So I don't even think they like care that honestly, when you hit your 40s, I can't even say that. I've been doing this since my 20s, so
that's true. Yeah, I feel like that too. I feel like, you know, I've been really I've tried to be really good with my skincare. I will say I've tried to be really good with my skincare. I feel like moisturizing is very key. Eye creams, multiple eye creams are very good. All the serums, like all that stuff. But I do feel that, especially in the past probably 10 years, that my eyes constantly look like they're about to go on vacation. They always have their bags packed. And I am like, it's a concern. It's a concern, but honestly, like why can't I just let things go? Like why, like I just want to make sure that I'm going to live a life that is authentic to me. And am I going to put the best part of me on social media? Sure. But should I start putting maybe some of the real authentic things about my life on social media too? Maybe that's helpful, right? Maybe that's a helpful tip, right? Just start like sharing, because I feel like there's a whole community of people out there. We're talking about communities. And I feel like there's a whole community of moms out there who would be like, oh my God, yes, this is exactly what it is. This is real life. I feel like my child is demonic spawn today. And I just want to know that somebody else out there is going through the same exact thing that I'm going through. That always makes me feel better.
Well, and I think that also we need to stop judging ourselves or comparing ourselves. Like, and I do. Yeah. I again, I'm the best at telling you what to do. I suck at doing it myself. But like I'm trying. And like, I mean, I know this is a silly thing, but like I do not have a green thumb like whatsoever. If you give me a fake flower, I will somehow kill it. And I don't know why. Same. And when I go on my walks in my neighborhood, there's like these beautiful flowers in the flower beds. And I see these moms out there and they're like pruning their flowers. I don't really know what pruning means, but I'm just going to pretend I know what that means. And they're like doing this stuff where they'll post it on, I have a girlfriend who I love, but like she's one of my neighbors and she has the most beautiful flowers. Like I don't even know what she does. And then she'll post on like Instagram, like these gorgeous roses. And I'm just like, I can't even keep the store-bought roses good for like 3 days. And I don't know what she's doing. I don't know what magical fertilizer she's using. But like I walk and I'm just like, I'm really glad the gardeners came. And it's cool that there's bird poop on my mailbox. I just try to remember once a week to take it off. You know, it's not like
you do that. I don't even do that. I'm like, I
just get annoyed. Like the bird always poops right there. But I promise you, the other neighbors don't get bird poop. And I don't know why. Like, I don't know how they're making it like so perfect. And I just think we have to get to this point where we're like, okay, you know what? It's good enough. Like if I'm only drinking a glass of wine and eating popcorn tonight, it's good enough.
I think that's pretty darn good if you ask me. I love that. That sounds I'm gonna go have that after we get off this chat.
I love popcorn and wine, but yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like that should be the prescription. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think also when we're teaching our kids stuff too, like I think that we get over and this is something we're just learning, like again, like I said earlier, but like I feel like our life is always like on a time thing. It's like we're always running late no matter what we do. We're always trying to race that clock. Everything is just feeling like this anxiety, right? And I feel like if I'm feeling this anxiety, my son is definitely feeling this anxiety. And just recently, I mean, my son's 18 and I'm just now Mother of the Year award, right? Not. And so, but like, we're just now recognizing like, wait a second, it's okay if it takes longer. It's okay that it's not perfect. It's okay that, you know what, if we leave the house and there's dishes in the sink, which never happens, but like, if it does, like, it's okay. Like we went to the beach the other day and I was just like, oh, we're not done making the beds and this, and that, and the other. But I knew if I didn't go on the run with him in the beach, like he wouldn't get that. So I was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. But in the end, to that point, what are you going to remember more? Are you going to remember the made beds, or are you going to remember the time at the beach with your son? Right. Yeah. And I think it's going to be the time with Jackson. Right. I think that's going to be the thing.
And I think that's what we have to remind ourselves as moms is like, okay, guys, you know what? The laundry may not always be done. If our kids are helping, which I do think we should incorporate our kids helping more. And I wish I would have done this earlier. And that's something that I could go back. But I'm loving seeing that he's helping more, and it is helping, like him, like, you know, emptying, he just does the silverware, but like him emptying the dishwasher of the silverware is like really helpful. Right. And then he vacuums the whole house, really helpful. I feel like it doesn't have to be this perfect picture of whatever we're drawing in our minds as moms. I think the perfect picture is us being able to breathe, being able to laugh at ourselves and really use that extra, like all this crazy time that we're trying to make it, which is never going to be perfect, but trying to make it perfect, whatever. And like have our friendships, do these extra projects that we're doing right now, like have fun, because when we're 90, we don't want to look back and go, crap, like, yeah, my dishes were always in the dishwasher, but I didn't get to do the podcast with Shanna because I was too busy vacuuming my house.
Yeah.
You know?
What was our life for, right? What was all that time in our life for?
Yeah.
Right. And if anything, you're right. It should be about our family. It should be about our friends, and it should be about the things that truly give us joy in this life. And that is not emptying the dishwasher. I'm sorry. I don't care who says that gives them joy. They are liars.
Absolutely. And we should all inspire, we should all like try to be like, you know, like honestly, the bad mom, best version of ourselves. Right. I feel like we're going to be the happiest.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if being a bad mom is that I choose to spend quality time with my kid, and I choose to put off making the bed in order to spend more time with her, or to do something like this podcast, pursue some passions, that sort of thing, then I am a self-proclaimed bad mom and proud of it.
I'm proud of it too. I'm proud my pillows don't look perfect today. I'm super happy about that.
That's right. I'm glad that all the dishes got put into the dishwasher with food still on them.
Because that's a dishwasher's job, darn it. Like, that's what they promise on those commercials.
That is right.
So I know we have a prescription this week. What is our prescription, Shanna?
We do. So the prescription this week, the RX for the week, is to let go of perfect. And what that means is just simply anytime this week that you feel that you have that little trigger in your brain that's going, this is not good enough, this is not perfect, let it go. Nothing is going to be perfect. Okay. Let's let go of that. Let's let go of some of that stress associated with that. And let's just try and find the joy in our lives this week. Absolutely. And let us know how that worked out.
Yeah, and find us on our website, which is supermommd.org. If you have a topic that you want us to talk about, if you want to be a guest on our show, super easy. All you got to do is go on our website. All of our social media links are there. You'll be able to figure out how to email us and all that good stuff. Right. And subscribe to our channel, because then you will get knowing about all the new shows all the time. And, you know, again, we're here just to, well, really, we're here to enjoy it for ourselves, but we're happy that you want to come along for the ride.
Let's be honest about what this is.
We are just really enjoying it, and we love it.
It's really, yeah.
So hopefully you guys do too, and we're just excited. Thank you for being here today, and do your RX, okay, guys? It's super important.
That's right.
Let go. What's right.
Let go. Perfect.
What's the song in Frozen?
Let it go. Let it go. Oh my God, you made me sing on our podcast. Evil.
I love it. So I'm so
sorry. I apologize to everybody for that. Yeah.
And until next week, guys, let it go. Enjoy it. And we will see you guys next week.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much for tuning in to SuperMom MD. Please make sure to subscribe to our podcast and tune in next week as we continue to keep it real about all the ups and downs of motherhood. This is definitely not your mother's podcast.